Okay, let's just jump right in. A 10 to 20% chance AI takes over humanity. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a headline grabber, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially, considering who said it, Geoffrey Hinton.
It really is. And that specific warning, that rather stark figure, is exactly what we're digging into today.
Right.
We're looking at these recent comments from Hinton, who is, let's be clear, a genuine pioneer in AI based on an article covering what he's been saying lately.
Exactly. Geoffrey Hinton, not just anyone, right? This
Nope.
is someone foundational to modern AI. The article even mentions him getting the 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics for his work.
Which is huge, yeah. Establishes his credibility immediately.
Totally. So when someone like that talks about existential risk, will you listen? So for you listening, our mission today is pretty simple. Unpack Hinton's concerns, look at the timelines they're talking about, see what others are saying.
And keep it understandable. No deep dives into, the really complex tech stuff unless needed.
Exactly. Let's try and make sense of it.
Okay, so Hinton's main warning. He puts that number out there. 10 to 20% chance of AI taking over.
It sounds like sci-fi, but coming from him.
Right. And it's not just a number pulled out of thin air. It's tied to how fast AI is learning, how it's solving problems. The worry is it could outpace us much sooner than we think.
And he feels people aren't getting it.
That's what he says. His quote was something like, people haven't got it yet, people haven't understood what's coming. A sense of urgency there.
Definitely. And he's not alone in this thinking, is he? He mentioned Elon Musk.
He did. He specifically said he agrees with Musk on this, even pointing to Musk's timeline that AI might be smarter than all humans combined by, 2029?
2029, that is incredibly soon. Does Hind explain why he buys into that kind of time frame? Is it the current pace or something specific he sees?
The article doesn't detail that specific alignment point by point, but his broader argument is all about the rate of progress. It's exponential.
Like how image recognition just suddenly got really good.
Exactly like that. Or language models. Things that seemed basic just a few years ago are now incredibly sophisticated. He sees that acceleration continuing, maybe even speeding up, until AI is just fundamentally different.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense. It's the speed. And he's not just like waving a warning flag. He has suggestions.
Yeah, practical ones. He says AI companies really ought to dedicate a serious chunk of their computing power. He threw out the figure a third, maybe more, just to safety research.
A third. Wow. But, I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
these companies are competing like crazy. Is spending a third on safety, which might not pay off immediately,
Yeah.
is that going to happen?
Well, that's the rub, isn't it? And Hinton knows it. He explicitly voices concern about the lack of regulation right now.
And lobbying against regulation even.
Right. Lobbying to reduce oversight. He sees that as a really dangerous imbalance. Prioritizing speed over safety. He argues investing in safety is crucial long-term, even if it hurts short-term profits or progress.
It really makes you think, though, why the change of heart for him? He built this stuff.
Yeah.
The article mentioned he felt he needed to leave Google so he could talk about the dangers more openly. That's a big step, a statement.
It really is. It shows how deeply he feels this. And his reasoning, he uses this analogy, the Industrial Revolution.
Right, I saw that.
But he says this time, it's not about machines being stronger physically. It's about AI potentially becoming smarter, intellectually superior.
And his point is, we have zero experience with that.
None. His words were something like, we have no experience of what it's like to have things smarter than us.
That's the unnerving part. We can handle stronger machines, maybe, but smarter.
Yeah.
In ways we can't even predict.
Exactly. It's abstract. It's harder to grasp the implications.
So when he says take control, is he thinking like conscious robot overlords or something more subtle, like systems just getting too complex?
It seems more like the second one. His worry isn't necessarily about, malicious AI in the Hollywood sense. It's more that these systems could become so intelligent, their goals or methods might just diverge from ours in ways we can't anticipate or manage.
Because they operate on a level we just can't keep up with.
Potentially, yes. Their complexity and capability could simply outstrip our ability to control or even understand their decision-making.
And it's not just Hinton sounding this alarm, is it?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the article also brought in Demis Hassabis,
Yeah.
CEO of Google DeepMind.
That's right. And he's singing a similar tune, maybe slightly different words, but the same core concern. He talks about society just not being ready for AGI.
Artificial general intelligence. The human level stuff.
Yep. AI that can think and learn across the board like a human. And Hassabis thinks that could be just maybe 5 to 10 years away.
5 to 10 years. Again, that feels incredibly close.
It does, and he flags that rapid approach as a major challenge we're not prepared for. So, yeah, AGI within a decade, possibly.
Wow. Okay. So you've got Hinton, the sort of godfather figure, and Hassabis heading up one of the leading AI labs.
Both expressing very similar worries.
Yeah. The speed of it all, the chance it could actually surpass human smarts, and this general feeling that society is lagging way behind.
It really does feel like some of those old sci-fi plots are edging closer to reality, which is fascinating, but also,
A little unsettling.
definitely unsettling.
And it's important for you listening to remember, these aren't just random guesses. These are probabilities and predictions coming from people inside the field driving the innovation.
People who understand the technology better than almost anyone.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So when they issue these warnings, it carries a lot of weight. It makes you ask, okay, even if it's only 10 or 20%, what happens if they're right? What are the real stakes?
Mm-hmm. So, wrapping it up for you listening, we have Geoffrey Hinton, a key architect of modern AI, and Demis Hassabis, CEO of Google DeepMind, both signaling major concerns
Concerns about what?
about the real possibility that AI could evolve beyond our control, maybe sooner than we think, driven by its rapid learning and, frankly, our lack of preparation for something like that.
Right. Which kind of leaves us and you with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? Considering what these AI pioneers are saying, what are the conversations we absolutely need to be having, like right now, about where AI is heading?